Let's start with question 1. How the valuation profession come into force in Malaysia and relates with formation of the Act regulating the matter. There are three eras. First, before colonial. Second, British colonial. And third, early independent. Before colonial. First, Malay Sultanate Malacca. Sultan was the higher ruler and they used Malay feudal system. The determination of the tax rate is based on Islamic tax system. Second, Portuguese and Dutch colonial. They focus on the dominance of trade. British colonial. British come to Tanah Melayu on 1786 and British introduced valuation by value the assessment rate in Bandar Georgetown on 1790. All state in Tanah Melayu was colonized on 1819 to 1914. On 1907, a prices enactment was introduced and British set up a branch of RES in Malaya on 1920. Sir C.C. Hipgrave appointed as officer of Inland Revenue Department on 1954. 1955, Sir A.A. Bragg started his service at Ministry of Local Government, Housing and Urban Planning. On 1st June 1957, National Treasury Division has been established. In 1950s, RICS provided basic training for valuation profession. Then, valuation profession come into force in Malaya. Yearly independent. On 1961, RICS has changed to ISM, which is Royal Institute Chartered Surveyor to Institute Surveyor Malaya. On 1973, the Enforcement of Surveyors Act 1967. This act does not abolish the Appraisers Enactment 1907. On 1981, the Enforcement of Value Appraisal Estate Agent Act 1981. This created for registration of the values. Estate agent conduct are put in year 1985 to control the problem of illegal broker. Act 242 come into force in Malaysia and establish of JPPH.
In relevant to Section 9 of Act 242, explain the composition of the members of Board of Valuers, Appraisers, Estate Agents, and Property Manager. The President of Board is S.R. Muhammad Khairuddin bin Abdul Halim. He is a registered valuer. Ms. R. Mahalijami is a registrar of the board.
The members are Ms. Chan I Chen, registered estate agent, S.R. Azmi bin Abdul Latif, registered valuer from public service, Tuan Haji S.R. Kamaruzaman bin Mat Saleh, registered valuer, S.R. Abdul Razak bin Yusuf, registered valuer, Tuan Haji S.R. Kamaruzaman bin Daniel, registered valuer, estate agent and property manager, Dr. S.R. Wan Azrati bin Wan Abdul Aziz, registered valuer from public service, S.R. Datuk Sidat Pesan Hitam Kalam, registered valuer and estate agent, S.R. Donald Lam Jun In, the Director of Banking and Securities, S.R. Haji Ishaq bin Ismail, registered valuer, estate agent and property manager, Ms. Serena Chia Yuan Tin, registered property manager, SRT Handa Tera Gasam, registered valuer and estate agent, SR Lok Sung Tak, registered valuer, estate agent and property manager, SR Muhammad Nazrul bin Ahmad Zahari, registered valuer and property manager, Mr. Chen Chi-Chong, Director of RCMC's Memorial. SR Aiman Hidayu Ahmad, Registered Property Manager. SR Muhammad Faizal bin Fuad, Registered Valuer and Estate Agent. SR Azman Shah bin Haji Muhammad Arifin, Registered Valuer, Estate Agent and Property Manager. SR Yap Fuk Singh, Registered Valuer and Estate Agent.
In reference of Section 21 of Act 242, explain the meaning of mutatis mutandis. Provide example in explaining the matter. Section 21 of Act 242 explain about the restriction on valuation practice toward professional other than the registered valuer to practice all the registered valuer practice. Section 21 subsection 4 of the Act stated that the provision relating to the restriction on valuation practice in subsection 1 shall apply mutatis mutandis to a firm. Mutatis mutandis is a Latin phrase which translates to the considering the changes that must be made or by changing those things that which need to be changed. Mutatis mutandis generally refers to the matter that is similar and it compares from one thing to another, that if there is some change made, it will not affect the whole situation. In this case, subsection 4 refers to the restriction on valuation practice towards the individual can also be applied to the firm. Example: Ali is a registered estate agent and he have a registered estate agency firm. Mr. Fuad is a client that came to Ali's company in seeking of professional help of an estate agent for the process of looking for a property. As they are discussing on the matter, Mr. Fuad stated that he has a property that he wants to sell and want Ali to value the property. As stated in Section 21, subsection 1A of Act 242, individuals that are not registered as estate agents shall not practice or carry on business under any name or title containing the words valuer, appraiser, and etc. Therefore, Ali shall not carry on valuation practice. Hafiz is a registered valuer and is working under Ali's firm to practice estate agency's practice. He also shall not carry on the valuation practice on behalf of Ali's firm. As stated under the Valuer, Appraiser and Estate Agency Rules, 1986, Rule 25B, subsection 1, every firm wishing to practice valuation, appraisal, or estate agent under Section 23 of Act 242 shall apply to the Registrar in Form N, which is the application for registration and authority to practice valuation, appraiser, estate agency. Based on the example, Ali's firm is only registered as an estate agency firm and did not register under the board for the authority to practice practices related to valuation. Therefore, Hafiz, despite being a registered valuer, shall not practice or carry on business related to other practices other than those related to estate agency practice on behalf of Ali's firm.
Question number 4. Briefly differentiate the following. Registered appraiser versus registered valuer. Registered appraiser is a person whose name has been entered under Part 2 of the register, registered due to long experience and earlier registration before independence, limited or restricted in area and value. Registered valuer is a person whose name has been entered under Part 1, registered due to past test of professional competence (TPC) after independence, unlimited or unrestricted in area and value. Probationary valuer versus registered valuer. Probationary valuer is a person who is registered under this Act as a probationary valuer, not yet sit TPC or not past TPC, not yet competent to sign report, and not have authority to practice as valuer. Registered valuer is a person whose name has been entered under Part 1 of the register, have sit TPC or past TPC, competence to sign report, and have authority to practice as valuer.
Broker versus registered estate agent. Broker is a person who is illegally arranged transaction between a buyer and a seller for a commission, not recognized by organization, offering less advice or services than full service brokerage firms.
Registered estate agent is a person whose name has been entered under Part 3 of the register, recognized by organization, have authority to practice, allowed to practice, and have license.
Registered estate agent versus real estate negotiator. Registered estate agent is a person whose name has been entered under Part 3, have passed examination, have authority to practice, allowed to practice, and have license.
Real estate negotiator is a person who's employed by a registered estate agent. Since they do not manage the business themselves, they are not required to obtain a registration under BOVIA, not pass examination, not have authority to practice, not allowed to practice, and cannot work.
Explain on the importance of the professional indemnity insurance for each registered valuation firm in Malaysia. What is professional indemnity insurance? It is professional liability insurance that covers legal costs and expenses incurred in defense, damages, or costs that may be awarded if they are alleged to have provided inadequate advice, services, or design that cause the client to lose money. What is the need of the professional indemnity insurance? It is provide advice or professional services to client. It is one to protect against allegation of mistake in work have undertaken for client. It is work that the client has requested to arrange PII in order to undertake a contract. It is important for regulatory body to require to have it. Why the professional indemnity insurance is important for e-registered valuation firm in Malaysia? Property valuer provide advice that directly affects the financial fortune of the client, so PII is something that really cannot afford to be without. If they provide a valuation that is wrong, their clients stand to lose substantial amount of money and will be highly likely to sue the valuer to regain their loss. A common claim brought against property valuers are for breach of contract, negligent and misleading and deceptive conduct. It is under Section 42 of the Fair Trading Act or Section 52 of the Trade Practices Act. What are the example coverage of the professional indemnity insurance? Breach of duty, violation of statutory duty, contractual liability, breach of fair trading laws, infringement of intellectual property, defamation, contractors, loss of document, misleading, court appearances, claiming investigation costs, employee dishonesty, inquiry costs, public relation expenses. Example of registered valuation firm in Malaysia. Anika Insurance Broker Sendirian Berhad offers special scheme PII for all real estate agent and valuers that are registered with Lembaga Penilaian Bertaksir dan Ejen Hartanah Malaysia. Minimum coverage of RM100,000 and optional coverage of RM200,000 and RM250,000. This scheme started from the minimum requirement of RM100,000 and maximum RM250,000. They are able to provide cover up to a limit of RM10 million in most cases for property management companies, auctioneers and professionals. According to CEO Trans-Asia Property Consultant Sendirian Berhad, the optional coverage is based on the client project cost. The bank will provide minimum coverage of RM1 billion. The panel bank of this company are Bank Islam, Bank Rakyat and Agro Bank. Recently, this company requires to handle a client project that costs me RM5 million. They need to buy a PII same as the amount of client project cost. If the client want to sue this company based on deceptive conduct, so they can use the PII as their insurance coverage.
Explain on the numbers of amendments of the Act 242 since the year 1989 until now. What are the methods of the amendment made? There are 4 numbers of amendments made since the year 1989. First, Act A980, second, Act A1056, third, Act A1404, and lastly, Act A1550. In Section 1 of Act A980, they amend the long title which include the word estate agent. In Section 4, they describe the duties of Director General to improve the standard, and in Section 5, they explain on the fine to the person that failed to submit the information. In Section 10, they amend the function of the board regarding the ethics and the scholarship. In Section 22C, they amend the restriction in carry on business or take up employment as estate agent and the form of advertisement in any estate agent practice. There are two amendments made in Act A1056, which is Section 5, that explain on the access to the lands and building for the purpose of Director General's function, and in Section 6, explain on the right to recover any court fee, commission, charge or remuneration. In Section 24 of Act A1404 explain on disciplinary proceeding, for example cancellation and suspension, and in Section 30 explain on offence of attempts to procure registration and to whom willfully makes falsification in register. Act A1550 amends Section 2 that interpret the meaning of fund for Bovia, and in Section 9, they substitute the word property manager in the title and also explain on the requirement to be registered estate agent and registered valuer. In Section 10, they amend the functions of the board for register of probationers and register of firms, and also prescribe the scales of fees, ethics, rules and insurance.